Welcome back to the LPW Show, the very first episode of 2023. My name is Zach Ralph. I'm the host of Quizplex and the Brunch Gimmick here on Love Wrestling, and I am joined by the person who joined us for the very first episode of the LPW Show, and now the number one contender to the LPW Grand Championship, the Intangible Zoë Sager. Zoe, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So since you've been on the show, there's been a real turnabout in your fortune, leading into your first appearance. You were on something of a losing streak, but again, you've turned it around. You've been on a hot streak. You've been winning every single match. And now, again, you're the number one contender for the Grand Championship. What do you attribute your success to in recent months?
I was on a losing streak. I kind of lost myself at the start of the LPW, but, I found the true intangibility that I have. I've used that to my advantage. I beat Gigi Ray, I beat Taylor Rising, I beat Giselle Shaw, and at the end of the month, I'm going to beat Michael Richard Blais and to become the first to win in a singles match that title.
That's a very good point. Michael Richard Blais won the title initially in a triple threat ladder match. And again, if you are to dethrone him at the end of the month, there will certainly be a first here in LPW, which is very cool.
Yes.
Now, another big change in recent months is you retained the services of the mercenary known as Reed Matthews. So I'm just wondering what inspired that hire?
That really came from, I didn't want anyone else coming in and trying to take me back down to where I was. I needed a little bit of insurance to make sure that nobody would mess with me. Nobody would try and take me back to that headspace that was not great. And it's best man for the job.
Now, of course, we're here to promote your match with MRB, but I would be remiss if I didn't just take us on a bit of a segue, because Reed Matthews is facing one of MRB's peers in the clandestine society and Taryn from Accounting on January 27th. So I'm just wondering if you have any kind of vested interest in that match.
My vested interest is as long as he's ready to go for my match. He's going to beat Taryn anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But as long as he's good to go for my match, I get my money's worth, we're Gucci.
Now, again, cycling back, the big main event of LPW 11, the blue event happening at the end of this month. LPW fans have been chomping at the bit for this match since you challenged MRB at LPW 10 back in November. So not only is this match challenger versus champion, this is also student versus teacher. How are you feeling in advance of facing a man who had a very heavy-handed training you?
I feel good. I've had a number of matches with MRB, but this one is different. There's a little bit more on the line here because I have my sights set on a championship, on becoming the first intangible champion of LPW. And like he said at the end of the LPW show last time, he has taught me everything that he knows. But that's fine because I'm a student of the game. I learn as much as I can from anywhere I can, not just him. So as much as he's taught me, maybe I know a little bit more than I let on.
He says he's taught you everything he knows. Is that the biggest threat in MRB's game plan when he's facing the intangible Zoë Sager?
Might be. I know he also knows a little bit more than he lets on. So definitely going to be a tough fight, but it's one that I'm in for.
And again, it's one the LPW fans, myself included, are just chomping at the bit to see. My last question for you, it's very blunt, but what makes you ready to be the LPW Grand Champion?
Everything. Everything makes me ready to be the LPW Grand Champion. I have worked so hard to get to where I am, and there's literally nothing stopping me from getting to where I want to be, and where I want to be is at the top of the mountain, being the LPW Grand Champion. And come the 27th, it's just going to happen. History will be made.
Marvelous. LPW 11, the blue event, happening January 27th at the Rec Room in South Edmonton. You can catch it on twitch.tv/love wrestling, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Zoe, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Another day